All right. Before we begin, I noticed in the newspaper this morning that the actor Darren McGavin's picture was in the paper. He spent time in Tacoma. He lived at the Deslin Boys Ranch, now Amara, for 3 years. So, and he apparently had a big fundraiser some time ago to help raise money for the Deslin Boys Ranch. I knew that he had spent time that he grew up in Tacoma, but I think I remember way back when somebody told me that he lived at Deslin Boys Ranch for a while. So a success story for Deslin Boys Ranch. Also, Eddie Van Halen, if you're a Van Halen fan, he passed away from throat cancer. And just found out that the Seattle Storm won their fourth national championship by beating Las Vegas 3-0. Congratulations to the Seattle Storm. They're the winningest professional team in Seattle.
Nice.
So congratulations, ladies. You won your fourth WNBA championship. Okay, moving down to the minutes. From September 1, we all got the minutes, looked them over. John and I were going back and forth for a while, and I think we got them all pretty well straightened out. Does anybody have any objections to approving the minutes?
I move that we approve them as presented.
All right, Bob, thanks.
I'll second that. This is Angela.
Angela seconds it. Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from September 1. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. Let me adjust my lighting here real quick. All right, treasurer's report. That was sent out today. There's no change from last month. So we have a beginning balance of $3,167.78, and that would be the same final amount as well. Anybody have any questions? Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you, Angela. And Bob, thanks for a second. Been moved and seconded that we approve the treasurer's report for September. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, motion carries. We've accepted the treasurer's report for September 2020. Nice to have you aboard, Jen.
Hi.
All right, current business. Just have number 1 there, probably stay there for a while until things change. So nothing new there. Angela, how about the League of Women?
Well, I did
excuse me.
hear, I was going to say, I saw some chatter on Facebook today from some individuals that went, I guess there was a meeting today. I'd have to look on Facebook again to see where it was.
I copied that post to Larry on an email earlier.
Okay, about the community plan updates. And I guess
Yep.
they were accepting public testimony today, but they basically are passing them as they are, even though there's still some people that aren't happy with the plans. But we'll see what happens. I know that they're trying to drum up some support for getting the county to reconsider, and now they've got Forterra involved. So we'll see where that goes. But we haven't.
Yeah, Angela,
I was just going to say the community association hasn't really been vocal since they had the comment periods last year before. So I don't know if we want to choose to get involved again, or if we're fine with where things are, since Summit Waller is largely untouched with the community plan updates.
I think what we're referring to was the county council had their meeting today, and Dawn forwarded that information to me about 5 minutes ago. So I was gonna discuss that under new business, just real.
Oh, okay. Okay. No worries.
So that would be number 5 under.
Okay.
It's regards to the council meeting today and a bunch of amendments that
Okay.
were proposed. That's at corridors and.
Yeah, centers and corridors. It's basically the
Yeah, centers
community
and
plan
corridors.
updates.
Yeah. Well, we can discuss that now under the community plan updates if you wish. Or we can wait till later.
I'll leave it up to you, Larry. I don't have a preference either
We'll
way.
wait till later to discuss that.
Okay.
Okay, Angela, about the League of Women Voters, getting out the vote campaign.
Yeah, I'm still signed up and receiving those. I haven't received very many actually, so I was going to email the contact there just to make sure that I was still receiving those. So I'm getting the ones about the candidates forum, but that's about it.
Okay.
So I don't really have any updates, unfortunately, other than I should still be receiving those, but haven't gotten any recently.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, voters are going to be getting their ballots around the 18th of this month. And any notices, are you planning to put those on Facebook?
Yeah, I figured if those that are pertinent to either the community or, that are important enough to share, I would absolutely do that. So I'll work with Gabe to either put them on the website and or on Facebook.
Okay, all right. As far as the League of Women Voters virtual candidates forums, they're ongoing right now. There was one yesterday for the Pierce County Executive. So you could have been a part of the Zoom fly on the wall session for the Pierce County Executive race. The next one that's probably maybe important would be next Monday, the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. Obviously, a week from tomorrow, October 14th, from 6 to 7 is the Congressional District number 10 for a U.S. representative to replace Denny Heck. And our entire community is within the 10th Congressional District of the state of Washington. And then there's 2 more after that. The 19th Superior Court Judge, position 4. And then I think on Wednesday, the 21st, will generate a lot of interest with the candidate forum for Pierce County Sheriff. And all of you got the League of Women Voters flyer that I sent you. And if anybody needs another copy, just email me and I'll be happy to send that to you. Anybody have any questions? Has anybody actually tuned into one of these virtual town hall things?
Yep.
It looks like
I heard at least one, yes.
disconnected. So she may have, I don't know. She dropped off on accident just a second ago.
Okay. All right. Angela, a little comment about the Canyon Road Regional Connection Agricultural Virtual Zoom Workshop.
Yeah, we have to wait for her to connect again. She's off the call right now. She somehow fell off.
Okay. All right. Well, I can just tell you that she is a part of the county group that will be there. So she will be at that meeting on Thursday. And if there's anything significant, she'll relay that to us, certainly by next meeting. Orange Gate Park updates. The Orange Gate Park updates, 14 hours of volunteer work in September. The Orange Gate Park Master Plan, there's the link that will, if you type that in, that will take you right to the page where the survey is. I would encourage everyone on our board to take that survey. And probably on Friday, it's because it's supposed to start raining a bit on Friday and then Saturday. I will email the link to those people on our mailing list that have active emails. I will also do the same thing with the pipeline trail update. So if they want to go to see the preliminary design work for the pipeline trail, I'll email that as well. Gabe, you can actually put those links right up on our website if you'd like, because those links go directly to the page and pages that they need to be informed.
Okay, I'll add those.
All right. Yeah, as far as Orange Gate Park is concerned, litter pickup keeps me busy. There are some posts that need to be repainted. That's got to be done before it starts raining. I did restore one sign that somebody took a chainsaw to about a year ago, a lot less than a year ago, and destroyed the sign. So I put up another one, and so far that's doing okay. And whatever I put at the corner of 46th and 84th seems to be picked up in a timely fashion. So far things are going pretty well. I haven't had time to check to see if the Parks Department has cleaned up that year-old secondary homeless camp. But I'll do that. And also, Don can back me up on this, because he's expressed an interest, and so has Bob, to do some sort of a walkthrough of Orange Gate Park. Of course, with the California smoke, and then most recently the heavy rain that we've had, kind of made it so, and I was busy with another Zoom meeting and agenda for my church, which was last week. I just haven't gotten around to setting up a time when I can get a hold of Tiffany Odell and Brianna Blackburn about a possible walkthrough of Orange Gate Park. Significant to especially the route of Pipeline Trail and the preservation of the historic Birds Mill Road, which dissects the park between 84th Street and Pipeline Road. Okay, any questions about or anything related to Orange Gate Park?
Yeah, that year-old camp, you were gonna give me directions to where that is, that me and the dog can go investigate.
Okay, it's located where Pipeline Road intersects with the high pressure pipeline. And if you're at that intersection looking south, it's if you walk south on that pipeline easement about 100 feet, and then it would be the entrance is off to the left.
Okay, that's just a little crawl hole through the brush, right?
Yeah, but if you go just a few steps farther south where actually the creek is, you can get into that area easier.
Okay, so it's off the gas line trail down in the creek bottom.
Correct.
All right.
It's actually not. Yeah, that will lead you to a short trail to right in where there's a mattress and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I know there's some other spots that need cleaned up on several trails, but I took about a dozen tequila bottles out of the power line road that somebody had a party.
Yeah. I found those tequila bottles and I took them down to the corner of 46 and 84th, and they've been picked up, Don.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Has anyone filled out the Orange Gate survey that's floating around out there?
I have not as yet. Plan to, though,
Yeah.
of course.
There's a really cool feature in there. Of course, they ask you some general questions about where do you live, how often do you use the park, etc. There's a map feature in there where it shows a map of the park, and you can drop a pin or a landmark on a certain area, and then you can make a comment about it. So if you're concerned about flooding the trail in a certain spot, or garbage accumulation in one spot, or security or lighting or whatever it might be, I thought that was really a nice feature for that. So you'll see when you get to that part of the survey, you should be able to see other people's pins that they've dropped on that map as well. So.
Well, one thing that confuses me on referencing the 2007 plan to what they may be proposing now, particularly the entrance, is that there's no correlation between the two. And to me, there's no point in even looking at the 07 if we don't know what the heck they're going to do for, unless that's to give a person some reference to the future. Because the parking lots are in two different locations. The two don't meet in any commonality.
Yeah, I think it's just to
There's
give
a lot
people.
of wetlands that are indicated. That is much of off-trail travel that I've done. It's really hard to find those designated wetlands. But the overall idea, I'm all for it. It's just that, hey, does the left hand know what the right hand's doing when it comes to the pipeline trail and the plan for the park itself?
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do, Dawn, is to really make sure that that they are talking to one another, that Tiffany and Brianna are not, planning their own efforts in a vacuum. So, and I think the 2007 plan is just there for reference for people to see if that's something that people even want. I mean, they had a huge showing of bike riders, and they had a huge equestrian representation. And I guess the county just wanting to know if that's still the case, because that was 13 years ago, and people move in and out of the area and things change. So I think it's just to let people know that.
In the 07 plan, there are two designated areas for overnight camping. Well, with today's scenario, I don't think that's gonna, but anyway.
No, you're probably right.
And
that
the dog park, I would like to see, I'm here for the dogs, okay? And I put a supplemental letter to all the questionnaires that were available, addressing some of those issues. Because I don't know if Larry wants the dog park across the street from his place or not. There's better places for it. And so I've even asked if there was any room on their consideration for an outsider to be an advisor to a dog from a dog's point of view. But I don't know if I'll get an answer on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, Don, you indicated previously that you thought that area west of Pipeline Road, up on the flat area there towards Rainier Vista Apartments.
Yeah,
That's a pretty big area, fairly flat, and could easily be just a really super neat dog park.
absolutely.
I would totally agree with you on that. Since they're not going to put the parking lot for the trailhead up there, that would be great. And also, I'd like to remind you that 2007 plan for the park is not the first plan. The first plan was in the 90s. And of course, in that plan, it was going to be turned into a 18-hole short golf course with riding trails around it. And the public hearings at Waller Road Elementary, half the people that came there had other ideas other than for a golf course. The people who lived around Orange Gate were all for the golf course.
Interesting.
But people away from immediately surrounding the golf course and throughout the county came in with other ideas. The BMX bike thing, yeah, that was big. And there were some people that wanted some sprinkler recreation type stuff there too.
Mm.
And my thought is that I've always thought all along that it's such a big area that really there needs to be a caretaker that lives on site in Orange Gate somewhere to kind of monitor the park. Open the gate, close the gates, do some routine surveillance, that sort of thing.
Mm.
Doesn't Wildwood have something to that effect?
Yeah, they've had that since since the park was built. I had a paper out there and used to deliver. Yeah, it's still there and it still functions as a caretaker.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Gabe, anything you'd like to add about our website or our Facebook?
Just some
Okay.
updates as requested. I was going to actually switch this time with Bob because he needed to take off, but he's already dropped off. But yeah, nothing's changed with the website as far as just the content. It's just adding things to the important news of the month. And then updating
Okay.
Facebook with Angela.
Yeah. Since Bob has dropped off, I would like to point out that Dan Hare has said he's not going to be able to make our meeting tonight, although I encouraged him that if I guess he had a flu shot today that he's having somewhat of a reaction to. So, but he also has a very sick family cat that they're all in a tizzy over. So, plus I think he's probably a little gun shy that maybe his webcam won't work. So I don't know. But anyway, he's excused. Bob already told me that he would be here for only part of the meeting, so he's excused. Never heard from Lisa. Never heard from Mark. Okay. Anything else, Gabe?
For the web stuff, that does it for me.
Okay. All right. Again, I would like to promote Gabe's services. He was over at our house here this last week, helping us set up our new desktop monitor and wireless keyboard. So that's what I'm using this
Nice.
evening.
Nice.
So, yeah. Thanks, Gabe.
Happy to
We're
help.
really enjoying it. And friendly service too, I might add.
I don't give everyone shoulder massages, just so you know.
Okay, moving on to, well, our bylaws and mission statement and objectives page.
Hey, here I am.
Well, you know, I was hoping that we would finalize our bylaws tonight. However, Bob submitted a change to the bylaws a couple of places about an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
So let's deal with the mission statement first. On the objectives portion of the mission statement page, the third item down said to not focus on issues related to building permit compliance, et cetera. Both John and Bob had suggested that we not use the word not. Bob suggested we use the word avoid. So we could change that to say to avoid issues related to building permit compliance.
What page is that? So I can scroll to it here on the screen.
That's on the mission statement objectives page, not the bylaws. But since you have the bylaws up there, and then he wanted to totally rewrite about our newsletter entry that says to prepare and distribute an occasional community association newsletter. He suggested a total rewrite of that one. So what I think I'm going to need to do is to rewrite that and send another copy out to all of you for your review, and maybe the mission statement and objectives we can approve next month. That's November the 3rd, election night.
My comment was actually that I found it odd that we would have as an objective something that we're not about. That just seemed weird to me to say this is not part of our, so I thought maybe that just stood out as kind of, I hadn't seen that anywhere before where somebody says this is what we're not about.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that came from the fact that, we're a land use plan zoning group, as well as a civic organization. And we just didn't want to get involved with building permit compliances and stuff like that unless we absolutely have to.
So just an aside as a comment to that, when my wife first asked me why was I bothering with this, because you didn't like the HOAs down in Southern California, what the heck are you doing? And I think it's the connotation that people are going to think it's an HOA type of organization where we're not.
Mm-hmm.
So the objectives seem to be like an HOA.
Well, it's just if people are focused on permits and what's approved and what's not approved, it feels like an HOA, which SWCA is not.
Right.
So
That's correct.
why it's not included in there or specified that it's not what the goal is or the mission is.
Mm-hmm.
So you were okay with the statement, Gabe?
I think, well, avoid is probably a good, good word, because at some point it's going to cross paths with somebody's doing something that's against code, that's different, county code, not just everybody's paid into an HOA to keep their houses looking cookie cutter, which is not what we're here for.
So if we take out the words not focused, we could say to avoid issues related to building permit compliances, etc.
Yeah, that seems to make more sense to me too. Yeah, I understand the reason for
Okay.
the wordage change.
Okay. Now down below it says to prepare and distribute an occasional community association newsletter. Bob said we should change that to communicate association business and other items of importance to members on a regular basis.
As times change, it might make sense to adjust the time frame you're sending things out and the method you're sending them, so that kind of covers everything.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Usually, I was thinking
do you want to
back,
change that again?
yeah, we would, instead of saying to prepare and distribute an occasional community association newsletter, we would change it
It would
to
be-
read communicate association business and other items of importance to members on a regular basis.
Or on an as-needed basis?
I think the website and Facebook group make things more regular and immediate.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
So are we still on, okay, items of importance to members on a as-needed basis? Is that what somebody's
I don't like the
proposing?
wording as needed.
I think regular
Okay.
is fine. I mean,
Okay, all right.
Regular.
All right, those are the only two changes. The one thing that I did add in the last version that I sent out, I just added the word to everything. How do people feel about that? Everything each entry starts with the word TO.
I thought that was a good addition
Okay.
or good change.
Well, with those changes, how do we feel about our mission statement and objectives, and we can approve that tonight?
I would like to move that the board approves the mission statement and objectives as revised, as discussed.
Can I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Summit Waller Community Association mission statement and objectives page.
Mhm.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Great. Okay, I'll take care of that and get that out to you. All right, now the bylaws. Okay. The only feedback that I've gotten for additional changes was from Bob. So if we were to go to, first of all, let's go to Article 10. That'd be X. Informal action. He suggests that we eliminate the words social media and just leave the word written in there. And this is kind of, I oftentimes wondered about this section, but I was informed when we first started this organization that had to be there.
I don't know. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I understand the whole reason for social media to be in there myself. It doesn't seem to flow right with the written consent. I mean, electronic. I don't know what you'd say there.
Electronic would be better.
That covers a whole
Okay.
list of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be
Social
written
media is
or electronic.
awkward.
Social media is Twitter, Facebook. It just seems odd to put that there.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about action, such an action, a written or electronic consent?
Mm-hmm. That'd be fine.
Okay, all right. So let's go back up to Article 5, V.
Which section, Larry?
That would be Section 1. Again, the word social media he had problems with. Now this is the reason why this is there is because the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer make up what is called in a group the executive committee.
Mm-hmm.
And the executive committee can actually meet before a regular board meeting to set up the agenda. Now, we've really never done that,
Mm-hmm.
but it still probably should be there in case, let's say, this organization became huge, much larger than it is now. And it also leaves the option that, let's say, Angela and I, John and Russell, we can meet in person or
Online,
Or virtually.
virtually. That's a good one.
or
Virtually.
virtually.
Virtually is a better
Mhm.
solution to that.
Yep.
Okay, so they may meet in person or virtually.
Yes.
Then
Okay.
social media.
Yep.
Through social media is replaced with virtually.
Mhm.
Okay, I guess I'm a little confused. How should that read, Angela?
They may meet in person or virtually to set agendas, discuss issues,
Delete
strategies, etc. Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Would you tell us if you did?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
I can see years from now being in VR and everybody's floating around with their avatars. Yeah,
I know, huh?
it's all going to change
Yeah,
in 5
yeah.
years. So
I know.
Jen, we're gonna come up with a secret password and a handshake and all that.
Yeah, except for Gabe's going to be in on it all, so he'll spill the beans.
He'll spill the beans.
I'll hack the meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Just set him down, tie him to a chair, and put a heat lamp over the top.
Tapping,
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
talk.
And talk.
tapping this little.
All right.
pad of My fingers for getting.
Close this box out. Go up there till the red. No, that's Facebook. That's Face. That's where you want to be.
Hi, Patty.
Hi, everybody.
Is that your IT support there, Dawn?
Yeah. That's my computer.
Yeah.
She's more supportive than just IT.
Just click on your mic.
Well,
Our
those are
family
the
buys all
only.
our face masks.
I don't know.
Oh, do you? Nice. All right, Larry, what's next?
Yeah.
Well, those are the only changes. So I guess we can either approve or not approve the revised bylaws to our organization.
No, you don't want to close chat.
I'd
Now-
move, I guess I can move that we approve the revisions to the bylaws.
We can't
As
voice
a- Amended?
I already motioned that, another motion earlier, but I'll do another one.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Waller Community Association revised bylaws as amended tonight.
You've hidden it.
So I think
Anybody have a-
previously you moved to approve the mission statement, and now we're doing the,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
These are two separate things. Those are
Right.
Two
Mhm.
separate things.
because when you said you felt like you already did it, I think it was the mission statement.
No, I meant
Yeah.
I'm making another motion. That's fine.
Yeah, there's three elements to our
Okay.
packet.
Mhm.
It's the incorporation documents, then the mission and objectives page, and then the bylaws.
Yeah.
Is third element. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Waller Community Association bylaws as revised and amended this evening. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, John's got his thumbs up. Okay,
Mhm.
I got my thumb up. Okay, all right. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. One more item as far as the packet is concerned. We do have a, that blue, there we are, the blue title page.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if someone would volunteer to create a really snazzy title page to our packet that we have, which includes our incorporation paperwork, copies of that, our mission statement, objectives page, and our bylaws.
Well, I could do that for you guys, including the current logo that we have on the website and all the material.
Okay, all right. Once I get that, and once I make the changes and take out all the yellow stuff, I'll look for a printer, a printing place to print up maybe about 25 copies. What do you think?
Yeah,
Is that-
we probably don't need very many.
Well, we would need one for each one of us,
Uh-huh.
plus some extras that would be available at our next membership and community meeting.
Mm,
Why
okay.
don't- Why don't we, well, if you wanted to, consider just doing electronic for now, just an electronic version for now to send to us all and save the printing costs for a few months or possibly a year. Just in case things change again, you didn't waste all that time and effort.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, Jen. I was going to send a final copy to everybody. It'll come in 3 parts though, instead of all together.
And I can post it to the
So
website
the-
so anybody needs it can access it too.
Right.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Gabe,
I don't know, it
thanks.
just saves a couple dollars. But speaking of dollars, I did want to ask a question, if you don't mind. Last meeting, Dawn had asked about how many membership we had. And the only reason I'm bringing that up again is because as I was putting my paperwork away, I just noticed that our dues haven't changed. And that's great if they haven't changed. I'm not trying to promote upping the dues, but I just wanted to check to see that the number of people paying dues is matching what we need to keep our financial obligations going in a positive direction.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right now we have, a little over 3,000 in the bank. we don't have an awful lot of expenditures other than we gift $600 to the Mid-County Community Center. We produce a newsletter and mail it out, so there's a cost there.
Mhm.
I, you know,
Are we breaking even? I guess that's the question.
I think we're close to breaking even. I'd have to have that conversation with Russell, and maybe it would be worth your effort to try and give him a call. But if both of us call him, I think we can answer that. My hunch is right now, this year, 2020, I think we probably, if we talk about the $600 to the Mid-County Community Center, plus the cost of the newsletter and mailing it out, I think we're probably a few $100s short of breaking even. That'd be my guess.
Mhm.
Well, I've asked before, and I'm kind of really confused why this organization doesn't know how many members it has.
That's a good point, Don. The person who's in charge of keeping that is Russell, the secretary or the treasurer.
I'll call
And,
Russell.
And if Russell were online tonight at our meeting, he could probably tell you. The reason why that's not a real big deal is because we have people that contribute fill out a supporting membership and send it in one year, but then they won't the next, or they did 2 or 3 years ago, and then finally they come back and provide us with some more money.
Mhm.
I think this year is pretty unusual because a lot of people are in financial difficulties and probably didn't renew their supporting membership this year, but maybe they will next year.
So
That
it'd be
doesn't
good to just
concern
get a
me.
roundabout, just a guesstimate.
Yeah, I would roundabout guess around 90 paid people a year. 90 people who turn in a supporting membership and pay their dues on an average year, about 90 people.
Okay.
To put in perspective, the SWCA Facebook page has 1,218 people on that page.
Mm.
Some of those are
Yes.
multiple people per household, of course. So,
Yeah.
and some are just outside of our area, but I mean, they're bordering. But there's
About
a lot of people
1,200?
just over 1,200, yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly a plea to the people on Facebook. We could sure use your financial support to continue with what we're doing.
If we were to draft something, and Angela or I can post.
Yeah, I've been thinking, I know that we had talked about doing something similar last year in lieu of, this last spring in lieu of a meeting, but I've kind of got a tickler reminder for myself to do it in January, to put that on Facebook.
Membership drive type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A membership drive. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Well, we'll see how 2021 goes.
Yeah.
All right. Don, does that help a little bit?
It'll get there one of these days.
Yeah, no, I will text Russell and ask him to count up the number of people who sent us supporting memberships with their money this year so far.
Okay.
and I'll get that count to you. All right. Our board of directors goals. Angela, you sent out kind of like a final version. And
a while ago.
yeah, and I don't know, I've been meaning to, number 8 says, write a letter to Tacoma Power Utility Board with request to install more eco blocks and cable along 84th Street East, 80th Street East, along the remainder of 46th Avenue. That was supposed to be done in the spring, which things just, I was thinking about that, and I'm going, power companies are in a real financial bind these days. And I've talked with a couple of people at Tacoma Power, and they verified that that's the case with Tacoma Power. So I'm proposing a rewrite of number 8
Okay.
to just say, continue to work with Tacoma Power with regard to issues that come up involving the Cowlitz substation.
Okay.
That's pretty general, and it pretty much is what we've done so far and will continue to do. And
I
if
would,
some-
go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I think those changes are fine, Larry. I'd just maybe recommend that we wait until we revise the goals for 2021, since it's only a couple months away.
That is true. Yeah. Well, I was just going to say that number 8 isn't going to get done.
Right. So let's just, yeah,
This
and
year.
that's fine. I mean, we set goals. That doesn't mean we meet them all, but we can change it and adjust it for next year to be more realistic of what we want to accomplish. So.
Or instead of spring, you could just say move to 2021.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. All right. That satisfies me on that. Okay. Bob is not here. Has anybody heard anything about Canyon Rim Estates issue? Okay. What we can do there is, I knew that there was a renewed, a new application, which was similar to the last application, and they just had to start over again. I will be in contact with Bob, and if he does have an update, I will tell him that he needs to email us an update.
Sounds good.
Okay, a letter to the city of Tacoma regarding litter along Pioneer Way East. In my conversations with Dan about this issue, he called the 311 number and complained about the litter along Pioneer Way East and also litter along 64th Street East. And there has been some movement, especially along 64th Street East. I don't know about Pioneer Way, but the bottom line is he has not written a letter to the city of Tacoma yet. I asked him if he intends to do that on our behalf, and he said yes. He will do that, and I will remind him of that. He was talking about maybe towards the end of the week.
Okay.
Okay, any questions on that? All right, new business. This is a bit controversial in that, how should I put this? Let me do a little chronological explanation here. Gabe sent me an email through our contact portal from let's see, it was Glenn and Jerry, I think it's Fitzpatrick, I think is their last name. They live off of 64th Street East. So if you're at the intersection of Waller Road and 64th, and you go east on 64th, you go down the hill, down into the Squally Creek Valley there, and then just as you're starting to go uphill, there's a group of houses off to the right, to the south of 64th. Joe Stortini used to live in that area. And this couple they've been in the Waller Road area for years. And then
They're the
they bought
Blankenships, Larry.
What's that?
Blankenships.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you very much. Blankenship. Yeah. Glenn and Jerry Blankenship. And they bought Stortini's house, and they caught wind that the 22 acres that John Mensonides still owned, kind of straddling Squally Creek between the Faith Dairy property and 64th Street. That's 22 acres, had been sold to the Puyallup tribe within the last couple of months. So 64th, yeah, that would be 34th Avenue Court East. So that kind of that open area just to the west of 34th Avenue Court East.
So this development in here?
Yeah, there's 22 acres in there, and John Mensonides sold it to the tribe.
A parcel right where your cursor is, Gabe. That's the one. It's an L. It's an L shape. They bought it in July, by the way. That's when it went on record at the assessor treasurer. Was in July.
Mensonides.
Yeah.
Mensonides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mensonides. All right. So the people that live off of 34th Avenue and farther to the east are concerned about what the tribe plans to do with that. So I called Dan and I said, hey, Dan, you know, we wrote a letter to the tribe back in, back in 2017. It's actually, what is it, September 21st, 2017? That was in regards to the Faith Dairy property that had been sold to the tribe. And of course, people were highly concerned about what might happen to the Faith Dairy property. And that's when we had suggested that they keep any development of that property consistent with the surrounding rural separator. And we suggested things like a cultural center, etc. And there's still talk. They had formed a committee, the tribe had formed a committee to kind of look into what they wanted to do with this property. And they ended up hosting a big powwow, which was highly successful. I guess some of their police vehicles are parked there. And I think they're still trying to figure out what they want to do there. Don Massey seemed to indicate that a cultural center might be what they're currently thinking about there, which would certainly fit in with our community. So Dan and I talked about this, and we thought, well, maybe a follow-up letter because the property had 22 acres had closed within the last couple of months. We wanted to make sure that we had a timely letter that was sent out that would be kind of an update type letter, urging the tribe to adhere to their current zoning of the area as rural estates, which kind of blends in with our rural separator. So The first letter back in 2017 was a hopeful, suggestive letter. This letter was just a reminder that they should adhere to their own zoning in regards to additional property, large parcels that they purchase in the Summit Waller area. And quite frankly, they did a study called the Harvard study, the tribe did, that indicated that the only area within the traditional boundary areas of the Puyallup Indian Reservation that could be made available to tribal members to purchase property and houses that they could afford was the Summit Waller area. That would not be the case to the east, the north, or the west. You know, you got the city of Tacoma, you've got Browns Point in northeast Tacoma, which is pretty heavily built out. You've got industrial areas to the east. So the Summit Waller area is a prime area where tribal members could purchase at a reasonable price houses and parcels of property. And it's my understanding that that if a tribal member buys a parcel like the house that's been purchased by the owner of Smokin' Willie's, he purchased a house right next door to Paul Martin on Waller Road. And I guess in the future, if that person decides to retire and wants to sell, the tribe will buy it from them. So they want to keep it within the tribe. But the tribe also buys its own property. And I've told Dan here all along that if I put myself in the position of one of the tribal leaders like Bill Starud, even though they're paying off a massive debt that I'm sure that they've occurred with the new casino that they built, and their obligations on a monthly basis to their tribal membership, they still have money left over to donate to various surrounding cities and events that go on, but also they have money to buy up large parcels that might come up for sale that lie within their traditional boundary lines of their reservation. I mean, that's what I'd do. I'm sure there's still some ill feelings about how all these parcels of property were lost in the past, either by outright theft or trickery, what have you, you know. So that's why we felt that letter was just an extension of a previous letter, and it needed to go out right away. The only thing I regret is that Dan should have sent that letter out a little earlier to you. We didn't feel that it needed to be approved by the board, since it was just basically taking the 2017 letter and updating it and giving it just a slight bit different focus. But I guess if what we did was inappropriate, then I guess we'll just have to learn from that.
Well, I guess my question is, and you and I discussed it earlier, I wrote a letter that I copied everybody, or wrote an answer, but now I would like to know if you really all feel that fits within the mission statement of this organization.
Ooh, that's something new.
No, you just read the mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, your what you just brought up was something new that we hadn't discussed before.
Well, I think if I recall correctly, when we sent out the letter regarding the Faith Dairy, I'm of the personal opinion that I don't think the tribe actually gives a hoot about what the Summit Waller Community Association thinks about what they should do with their property, and that's what they will tell you. So I don't really know what we gain by sending letters like that. They know darn well what the rural separator is and what it means. They have lawyers that can look up the code just as easily as we can. But I mean, they're going to choose to build whatever they want to on it, use it for whatever they want to for. And as their planning director has said, it is their goal to reclaim as much property as they can within their old reservation boundaries. So we don't do that to other people when they buy property. I think that's Don's point is, you know, the person that's going to buy the triangular piece across from them on Waller and 72nd there that's been for sale for a while, which is likely going to be the tribe that buys that. Are we then going to send them another letter saying, well, welcome to Summit Waller, and here, by the way, here's the rules again? I don't know that it gains us much, but that is my personal opinion.
I support.
I think I would kind of disagree with that in that Dan Hare has been in contact with the tribe's land use planning person, and he has agreed to speak to Dan. What the tribe doesn't want is a lot of different folks in the Summit Waller area bombarding the tribe with letters, maybe even complaints and that sort of thing. We've indicated we would like to be kind of the community connection with the tribe on land use issues in the community. You're right that the tribe isn't going to be swayed by anything that, well, actually that's not true, because they did take our suggestion about a possible cultural center. I think that they do kind of listen to what we have to suggest to them. I think we don't want the tribe to totally shut all communication off if they get a bombardment from a whole bunch of irritated Summit Waller white people. I think it's appropriate for the community association to stay in communication with the tribe, regardless of whether they're going to do anything with what we send them or not. At least they know we're out there, that we're willing to work with them, that we're willing to suggest things to them. They can either take our suggestions or not take our suggestions, but I think it's important that the Puyallup Tribe of Indians knows that there is a community group that is interested in establishing communication with the tribe as much as we can. That's just how I feel.
Well, and I think that if that were the intent of the letter, then it should have been a totally different letter that we would have written, rather than citing land use regulations, right? So if it's hey, welcome to the community, we're here to work with you, we're here to help you communicate with residents, we want to help you in any way we can, blah, 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 that sort of thing. I think that should have been a different letter than the one that we sent.
I'm glad you brought that up, Angela, because Dan Hare suggested a short follow-up, probably one-page follow-up letter that basically says what you just said.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of putting a hitting a tail on the dock. It's ass backwards what transpired.
No, I tend to disagree on that.
Well, that's fine. Then let's let it go.
Well, I guess what Dan is looking for is he would like to come up with a one-page letter that basically says some of the things that Angela said, but to actually offer the possibility of some tribal representatives meeting with some Summit Waller Road representatives in the future. He doesn't think that will take place, but he thinks it would be a good idea to have that offer out there.
Yeah, it probably won't happen, but that is good. It's nice to offer it. Yeah.
So would Dan have permission from the board to craft that letter, send it out to all of us for approval before he sends it out?
Yes, I'd like to see it before he sends it out, please.
Oh, yeah, okay. Don, your thoughts? Because you've been pretty active in the conversation here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the first letter wasn't shared with the group for review prior to its mailing. So absolutely, any other further correspondence should go before the full board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I hear that message loud and clear. And I'll relay that to Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, Adopt a Road obviously didn't happen. Hopefully in 2021 it will. The Neighborhood Watch meeting that usually occurs the first Friday of every month, again, was canceled and probably will be canceled for the foreseeable future. Just a note here, historical note. We all know that Harold Moss, the former mayor of the city of Tacoma, and who also was was the first Black person to be on the Pierce County Council, died September 21st. The reason why I put that on the agenda was because when he was Pierce County Councilman, his area covered the Summit Waller area. And I just want to point out to everybody that he was very approachable. He listened very well to any issues that we had in the Summit Waller area. He came out a couple of times to our area, and I believe he sat in on one of our meetings. He may have even come, yeah, it's just been so long ago that he made contact with us on a regular basis. So he wasn't just a person who was just concerned about the city of Tacoma. He actually was genuinely concerned about the areas under his jurisdiction that were outside the city limits of Tacoma. And he was just a real gentleman, very friendly, very approachable. I know I'm gonna miss him. So I just thought I'd put that out there. And that brings us to number 5, which is the centers and corridors issue that came before the Pierce County Council today. And according to what Dawn sent me, and I will send this out to all of you, because it has an RSVP link to a Zoom invitation to thank Tim Trohimovich from FutureWise and everything that he has done to help the people out there in the Parkland, Spanaway, excuse me, Frederickson and Midland areas in dealing with this corridors and centers and corridors issue. They presented, I guess, a number of amendments to the council, Pierce County Council, and let's see. Yeah, the Republicans on the council voted down all the amendments that would have reduced the impacts of the town center proposal on the urban growth area. The bottom line is that it looks like this Himovich from FutureWise is going to build a legal appeal to the Growth Management Board. So even though all of their efforts that the people out there in surrounding communities have tried to do didn't fare out very well, it built a case for a possible appeal to the Growth Management Board, and they feel pretty good that they could prevail because they have prevailed in the past on agricultural designations by the county, and also the city of Sumner prevented the city of Sumner from building a huge shopping mall and housing area on farmland near 410, SR 410. So this Zoom meeting will be on, let's see, I think it's this Thursday.
Yeah, the 8th.
The 8th, yeah. And it's also a fundraiser, so you can contribute money to their legal defense, their legal appeal. So I just thought I'd put that out there, and tomorrow I will, or later tonight, I can forward this on to everybody.
Well, I have 2 comments. That should be a surprise to everyone. How did Marty Campbell vote? And if they're going to succeed in this zoning change as planned, you don't think that we're in line as the next target? And so would the association, would it be appropriate for the association to even give a token contribution to support the funding of this appeal, or whatever you want to call it?
Ooh, that's interesting. We'd have to write a check. I'm not sure whether, yeah, I'd have to check to see how we would get a check to them and how much that, it's up to the board as to whether we want to do that, and if we do, how much, and quite frankly, do we have, I don't know what their timeline is in filing this appeal before the Growth Management Board. Angela, can you shed some light on that? I know Dan probably could if he were here.
Yeah, I don't have any other information other than what I'm reading on
Well, I
the
can go through it again,
RSVP.
and if y'all don't care, I can make the initial inquiry to find out that answer.
Okay.
Okay, all right. All right, yeah, we'd appreciate that. Is it possible that we could approve a possible donation? Because they may need this money within the next 30 days. And if they do need the money within the next 30 days, as a community group, how much would we be willing to throw their way, or whether we would just encourage board members to contribute on their own?
I'd like to actually go, and I just RSVP'd for the Zoom meeting first. I'd like to go and see what they have to say first before I would commit to supporting their cause.
Okay.
Personally, that's my opinion.
So if you if you tuned into that Zoom meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and you felt that well, I'm not sure exactly what I'm asking, other than what's the timeline for us to we'd have to wait till November the 3rd to get a board approval, or could we get a board approval on an emergency situation through emails or text messages. Could we take a vote that way? How do people feel about that?
Well, I think
You know, if we're gonna-
you just made a change to your bylaws that would allow that to happen.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Nice point, Don. Good. Okay, well, I think Don's going to look into this. Angela, you're going to tune into that Zoom meeting.
Yep.
Hopefully the two of you get back to the rest of us as to what course of action we should take.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
All right. Well, anything else?
Well, as we were sitting here meeting, I got an League of Women Voters Go Vote campaign email that we were just talking about. So I guess we do get them occasionally. This one's on, this is an RSVP for a racism and redistricting discussion, which is free and virtual, and it's also on October 8th. So I won't be able to make that since I already committed to doing this other thing. So I'll let you guys know.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
I got the same email.
Okay.
Are you signed up for
John.
those, Jen?
Yeah.
John, I have a little raspberry bush for you. I'll give you a call and let you know, ask when I can deliver it to you.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were going to give me a raspberry for something I did or didn't do.
Would a wedgie do? Anything else from anyone?
Are we still thinking about keeping our next meeting for election night?
Oh.
Or are people
that's
are going to be glued to their televisions or drinking at the bar on election night instead?
Well, I was thinking that Bob probably wouldn't be available for a meeting on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since our next meeting is going to be a Zoom meeting, we could change it to the next Tuesday, if that works. Let's see. Well, December 1st is our December meeting. So it would be November the 10th, would be the following Tuesday.
What would be wrong with the following Thursday?
Okay, you're talking about the Thursday the 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Well, let's suggest this, publish it, or tentative.
Anybody strongly object to the 5th that's with us tonight?
No.
Okay, I'll get that out.
Okay.
Yeah, probably by the 5th, they'll probably have a pretty good idea who won. Because there's going to be a lot of people voting by mail this year, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what state would have, you actually have to have a witness sign your envelope? And how many people would forget to do that? Just overlook it. Or having only one drop box in the whole county. How crazy is that?
Of millions of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Problems that we don't have to worry about.
Nope.
Yeah. Could you imagine having one mailed drop box, which would be like in Eatonville or Pierce County?
That's crazy.
I know in where was it? It was Dodge City, Kansas. They had one live voting place, and it was out of town, and it was 1 mile from a bus route,
Mm.
and it was in some sort of warehouse. And so that's the only place you could vote in person, and they didn't have mail-in votes in
Wow.
Dodge City.
Wow.
So you
It
got to
kinda-
drive out to this warehouse.
I guess that answers my question. Like, why do so few people vote? Well, that's a prime example of why you wouldn't vote.
Well, if you want to get into voter suppression, all you got to do is to make the lines so long that people give up.
Yes.
So if you want a certain segment of the population not to vote, then you have fewer voting places in that section of town,
Mm-hmm.
thus making the line so long that people will give up voting because they have to wait hours to vote. Or college campuses, you just limit the number of polling places on college campuses, and that way you can discourage college kids from actual voting. It takes too long to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting, and this conversation could be after the recorder is turned off.
It's a
All
good
right,
idea.
sounds fine.
I agree. Let's adjourn.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night.
Thank you for.